Hey guys, what's up? Let me turn off this light. Hold on. Moment. There we go. Much better. Ugh. How's everyone doing? All five of you. How are you guys doing? How do you pronounce it's just Germergerg. It's not a real it's just a series of sounds. It's kind of based on people mispronouncing my last name my whole life. So it's kind of meant to sound like nonsense. Hey, Nayar, good to see you in here finally. Hello, Dawn, Googly Mowgli, Jeff. How's everyone doing? But yeah, you can. It's right in my bio. You can totally call me John. That's my real name. So happy to. No, I'm not hiding my first name or anything like that. So, yeah. Hey, Lesky, Germer John. Yeah, exactly, Germer John. I'm doing well, Nair. Thank you. Very, 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 very glad this week is over. Let me tell you, long work week. So super excited to be done with it. You guys, looking forward to the weekend. Hey, Jobber. Hello. Look at you, Jobber. I made a whole video about all the good things about Radahn. So finally finished my SL1. Mongrel Intruder. Hey, Pedro. I've finally finished my SL1 and have a pretty bitter taste of it because of Radahn. Yeah, I mean, I might have developed Stockholm syndrome. Honestly, that was the longest no hit by a country mile. God damn, that took me a long time. That was insane. Absolutely brutal. But yeah, I went from like extreme hatred to being like, all right, there are some parts of it that are good. So yeah. Luscious, I think, Luscious, I think that there's going to be a split of opinions, which is why I'm interested to see, because at least in my comments, the opinions about Radahn are very, very divided. So, I like George. Yeah, the triple slash is horrible. Ugh, it's the worst. I mean, that was really what the video was about, was just how terrible that single attack is and how much it just ruins everything. It's crazy. There were more things that could have mentioned that would have made the video go too long, but I have like a lot of Austin says indisputable, there are great things, soured by the bad. Yeah, I mean, he's quite controversial. I can't think of anybody since Millennia, and I think he's probably more controversial than Millennia. But there is this interesting thing where I don't know if this is intentional or not. If it is intentional, it would be extremely cruel, because, and it would also bode poorly for my hopes that they fix the arena. I don't think they're going to fix the arena, but you know, I tried this strategy because the arena is so shit and you can trip over it a lot. I tried a strategy of pulling him back to the front where you fight him in phase 1, where it's much flatter. And he will come to you. And in fact, weirdly enough, that's where phase 2, if you get a critical hit and phase transition him through the critical hit, he'll start in his normal position way in the back, but you will start in the front of the arena. It's extremely weird that there's this difference. There's a whole set of things that I could say about his phase transition because it's very strange. But you can either start there or you can pull him back. And it is easier to fight on initially because it's flat terrain. But the problem is when he does his gravity attack. If you do the gravity attack, if he does the gravity attack while you're in the front and he does it at an angle where you have to run towards the front of the arena, you're screwed because there's nowhere to run. And there's no way to evade that attack other than you can't just like dodge in over and over again. It just doesn't work. So eventually I actually gave up on that strategy because there's too much of a risk. So it makes me think that it might be on purpose that they don't want you to fight him there. Somebody said something that's relevant to this. Caden flatten it. Yeah, that's a good point. He should flatten it. Yeah. Still can't beat him without a great shield. Yeah, understandable. I mean, it's hard. He's definitely hard. I mean, I'm down for things being hard, like especially the last DLC boss. And I think to me, it's personal taste, but everything in that fight is manageable except for the triple slash. You can learn everything else. Once you do it a lot, the gravity attack, the clones are not like terribly difficult. You see the gravity attack start. You start running away from him. The gravity balls get like medium towards you, and you start running to the side. You can jump to the side a little bit, and then you run. His clones will hit the ground. There's 5 of them. You count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You roll on the 4th to avoid the 5th. You wait a second, and you roll in to avoid the holy pillars. So, I wound up being able to get that pretty consistently. It's not terrible, but there is some RNG with it, as somebody in here mentioned, that can be a little frustrating. But yeah. The clones, yeah, the clones get you. Yeah. No, bad Abonger, I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. But you're probably not surprised to hear that. Yeah. I don't think it forces to position properly. No. But everybody is entitled to their opinion. What's wrong with it? It forces you to position in one position, in one very, 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 very narrow position, and it's also impossible to consistently stay in that position. So that's, proper positioning is different than, to me, is different than just like there's one attack that will destroy you unless you stay consistently the entire time in one very, very, very idiosyncratic spot that he constantly tries to force you out of. And that's what winds up, at least if you try not to get hit by the triple slash, that's what winds up to me being the whole problem with the fight, is that it forces you to like try to keep repositioning yourself to the left over and over and over again. And so it imposes this kind of monotony. So yeah. I think, maybe we just have different definitions of what proper positioning is. But yeah, the biggest problem with this fight, Was Up says, the biggest problem with this fight is that in Elden Ring, they introduced jumpable attacks and made strafing attacks usually consistent to use than the previous games, and they made a boss without any of these. Yeah, I mean, you can strafe certain things, and you can jump. Less interesting without it. Also, you don't have to just move to the left at the end of each combo. Yeah, but the whole thing, I mean, we're not going to agree. I don't want to like pick on you or anything. We're not going to, I mean, the whole thing is combos. So, his comboing constantly. So you're moving to the left basically all the time. And the triple slash comes out so quickly that you just don't have a lot of time to move to the left, which is why I think people say it feels like we're moving to the left the whole time, because if you end a combo in neutral position, the triple slash can come out almost instantaneously. So the way to not get hit by it is to just not end the combo in. I think Moog says, I think Radahn is handsome. Yeah, they really gave Radahn quite the facelift. Yeah, he does not have a lot of Moog resemblance. Am I the only one that sometimes gets hit through iframes with his double slam attack? Which double slam attack? Which is that? Slam, double slam. Double slam attack. Am I the only one that sometimes get hit through my iframes with his double slam attack? Which ones, guys? Remind me what the double slam is. What are we talking about here? The one where you get put in the air. The like cross slash that goes down, and then that one. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that one is a little strange. What I will say is that it's not usually a problem for me because I use for no hit runs. I use the Crucible Feather Talisman, which improves dodge rolling. It is a junk talisman in any kind of regular playthrough because I think it gives you like 1 extra tenth of a second in exchange for a 30% health debuff. So, that's like a terrible trade-off. But in a no-hit context, you have to start over if you get hit anyway. So, it could be a 100% health debuff and it would still be worth it. So with the talisman, I've never had a problem with that one. I have enough iframes. Yeah, M. White, I don't know about that either. And sometimes he can catch you depending. So that's why usually if you run away, there's some directional trick to it, I'm sure. I just didn't have the energy to learn it. But usually if you run away, you are safe and you don't even need to roll if you're at the edge of the arena. But sometimes it will catch you. He'll land closer to you than you expect. So that's why in all my videos, I'm just like rolling constantly just to get safe iframes. But I don't know the reason for it or like, yeah, why sometimes it works. Bob Sinclair, wow, that's a hot take. The DLC was too easy. Damn. Um, it was not too easy for me. I thought it was hard. But yeah, I guess I wasn't trying to cheese them. So I don't really know the cheeses. It's, I mean, I guess you can you can cheese with damage output, like the guys on YouTube who do the one-shot videos and stuff. I guess that's a form of cheesing. I thought Rolano was pretty hard. No. Some of them were not terribly difficult, but I think some of them were hard. It was definitely bad before the first patch. I think the first patch was really necessary. Even with the Shadow Tree fragments initially, the amount of damage you could do against them was not enough. It was not. I didn't feel like it was going to be rewarding to most players. So I think they were right to improve the efficacy of them. I don't think we're Dawn Weaver. I don't think that they'll do this kind of the same stuff that they did with him again. I think there's a lot of pushback, more than with Millennia, I think. So, and I do think that they listen, I mean, hey, Jose Victor. Not always, but I definitely think they know what's going on. Waterfowl, I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll change it. I'm not good at predictions. I do think um I do think Waterfowl is different though. Waterfowl, I think they left in. Waterfowl to me is fairer than the triple slash. Waterfowl is extremely telegraphed. It's extremely telegraphed, and even though it's difficult, you can learn how to dodge it. Um, you cannot dodge the triple slash at a neutral position, and you it's not telegraphed almost at all. So, um, yeah, I think waterfowl is yeah, I think waterfowl is learnable and at a neutral position, and it's telegraphed. So I think those are the difference. So, yeah. Yeah, googly moogly, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, yep, I agree. There is a way to do it, but I found at least doing like damage free stuff, I often overroll just because I don't want to chance it, and have to start over for the 8 trillionth time. So I always rolled it. You can move, and you can also roll once. You're definitely safe if you roll once. You can move in the right way and not roll at all. But as long as you roll once, you're 100% safe. I think they put Radahn's triple slash because they wanted to force players to use different tools and not rely on base mechanics. Although I wouldn't. Yeah, it's possible. It's definitely possible that they did that. I mean, the thing is that it is technically dodgeable, right? Like it's just a really makes the fight. It's just a bullshit way to do it. So, and another thing is like they've never forced you to not use base tools before, ever. Um, so it would be it would just be very confusing to me if they did that. I think it's very possible that they did do it that way, but I think it was a mistake on their part because I can't think of a single other non-gimmick lore-based attack, right? So like Nihil is the example that I always give as being different. It's a gimmick. It's part of the fight. It's part of the lore. There's a crystal tier for it. Like there's a purpose-built item for it. So it's just kind of factored into the fight, and it happens one time. But other than Nihil, I can't think of any other time that they've forced you to not use base game mechanics. Um, let's see. Okay, more people in here than last time. I'm not used to having to read all this so fast. Um, Bob Sinclair, yeah. Yes, no, I agree with this. Like, not everybody has to do no hit runs, but I think like if you're in this group with me, it means that you are probably like a pretty avid Souls fan. And one thing that I always try to remember is that like 30 million people play this video game. It's designed for people that aren't it's not just designed for people that are like us, that are, relatively good at the game, that can eat some damage and still survive. There's a reason that this game is full of spirit summons and that you get 15 Estus flasks, Crimson Tears. And it's because it's like it's the majority of people are casual video game players. So as I mentioned in the video, the the normal player, it's going to take them a billion times to beat this boss no matter what, and they're going to need everything that they have in order to beat the boss. So throwing in an attack that just is guaranteed to suck up your Crimson Tears and you just have to eat it, I think is like fine for people who are really good at the game, or who play a lot, but I think is pretty shitty to do to people who aren't, and who are like their target audience. They've marketed this game to them. So yeah, I also agree with that too, Googly Moogly. Like the Um, the challenge running community in like among Souls players is really well known. There's been articles written about it. Like From Software knows about challenge runs for sure, and I think they build fights to be winnable for challenge runners and non-challenge runners. And that's one of the reasons that I don't like totally buy the argument of like, well, they're not meant to be no-hitted. Is I think like actually, yeah, I actually kind of do think they're meant to be able to be no-hitted. I don't think they're meant for most people to no-hit them, but I think usually they're meant to allow no hits to happen because like the challenge run community is really big. And certainly the people that watch the challenge run community is huge. I mean, you think of like Twitch is full of challenge runners, whose entire careers are based off of doing challenge runs with massive audiences. And it's implausible to me that From Software doesn't know about that. They do. So I think they factor that into their design most of the time, which is why the triple slash is very disappointing. But even it's not even, it's also like not just about no hitting. I In one of my like guide videos, I called it damage mitigation, right? Which to me is like playing with the aim of avoiding getting hit as much as possible, which is, I mean, obvious. It sounds like, well, duh, that's obvious. But if you, as I said in one of my videos, if you look on Reddit, I don't think that's how like a lot of people play the game. I think a lot of people do extremely heavy hit trading and just try to eke out a victory through putting out marginally more damage than they um, seen as from challenge runners, while at the same time they give advice on how to get good anyway. Yeah. Um, I plan on hit trading even on RL1. How does that work? Don't you get like instant killed with RL1 health if you trade hits? Jose Victor? I've never done RL1 and I have absolutely no intention of doing that. These no hits with full health and full endurance are hard enough. The endurance is the thing that scares me the most about RL1. I could not imagine not having a full endurance bar. That's like my constant go-to that I nag people about is like not leveling up endurance. Yeah, that's true. Opaline bubble tier. Yeah. Right, I forgot about talismans and flasks. Yeah. It's hard for my day to talk about one thing for an hour. Well, we don't have to talk about um just talk about. I also put in the title we can chit chat about anything. And it probably won't be an hour anyway. um Makes me worry about their design philosophy of future games. Do we have any hints about what the future games is going to be? Are there any breadcrumbs out there? I have no idea. I feel like I heard Miyazaki say something about something medieval. Yeah. Yeah, I could imagine doing. No, yeah, I don't think Elden Ring 2. Um, I could imagine doing SL1 and DS3, but in Elden Ring, that just seems masochistic. Oh, okay, Jobber. Yeah. Well, I've said before, like the thing that I would want would be a game that has both deflection and dodge rolling. We've had deflection with sidestepping and dodge rolling with parrying, but I want a full game of Sekiro tier. I want a full game that has deflection and dodge rolling. I think that would be absolutely fucking amazing. Yes, Enoch, exactly. Morgott is the classic example of the difference between a regular run and a challenge run. Morgott is just underpowered for how much you are overpowered by the time you reached him. Big Lana fan over here. Okay, that's fair. I think they're going to make a game with slightly different combat because look at their track record. Yeah. The Reforged mod is deflection with dodge roll. Is that what you're saying? Is that for Elden Ring? Oh God, what's up? Okay, I'll check that out, Don Weaver. I think that they're wrong. What's up? It drives me crazy. I mean, I'm a huge DS3 fan. It was my introduction to the series. I think Elden Ring is harder than Dark Souls 3. I mean, I think that's kind of undeniable. But I still go back and replay Dark Souls 3, and like I don't think it's an easy game. Um, and again, that's another one of those things where it's like, if you think it's an easy game, you're too stuck in the Souls community. Like people outside, like in the world at large, Dark Souls 3 is not an easy game. So to call it too easy, I just think is a little crazy. Um, yeah, I think they'll do something with deflection. I think they'll definitely do something because they put the deflection tier in here, right? So it's like it's Sekiro was what, 2019? So 5 years later, all of a sudden, the Sekiro tier is coming back. I don't think that's like out of nowhere. Um, so yeah, I think deflection will probably be in their next game, which is so cool because I love deflecting. Um, I mentioned in my video today about why I don't think like deflecting is very good in this fight, because it's not a deflection based fight. So I don't think like the Sekiro tier is amazing because so much of it's not fully based on deflecting, but I think it's a good sign that they're bringing it back. It's all bad bosses are amplified because usually you breeze through bad bosses and they make them easier for a reason. A new Sekiro game would be my wife's favorite. She loves deflecting. I mean, deflecting is super fun. So your wife has good taste. Dover is Mesmer my favorite Elden Ring fight? No, probably not. I think I probably still have to give that to Godfrey. I've been refighting him with the martial arts and some incantations, and still so much fun. I absolutely love that fight. Yeah, Dawn Weaver. Yeah, I mean the game has a resurrection mechanic if you're on PC, but but not for console, unfortunately. So it would be nice for console players if they had it. And it's interesting because they put it in Sekiro, so I don't know why they haven't done it. Yeah, Xbox. Unfortunately, yeah, you do not have the advantages of modding the game. uh Pedro, I get it. That's a good joke. That is funny. Yeah, I started Googly Moogly. That's next. That's next up. I have Liza P, and I like started it. I played like 3 hours of it, and then Shadow of the Erd Tree came out, and I kind of had to pivot. Um, but yeah, now that I'm done with Radahn, I think I need a little break from Shadow of the Erd Tree, so I might return to Lies of P. And there's deflecting, so I'm kind of in a deflecting mood. Also, might pick up Sekiro again. I've only partially completed my no-hit run of that as well. Lies of P is quite hard for sure, though. Googly Moogly, this is your time. Tell Jose Victor about Lies of P. I know you're a fan. Yeah, Pinocchio Souls. Yeah, for real. Good one, Jobber. Yeah, that is what it is. Pinocchio Souls. I like the aesthetic in Lies of P a lot. I've liked what I've played so far. A deflect roll game would make me so happy. I love rolling. I know I get why people get sick of it, but I'm just like a simp for rolling. I love it. It's so much fun to me. I could roll forever. They could put rolling in every one of their games for the rest of my life, and I would be happy. Just toss in some deflection, and that would make me the happiest camper in the world. A deflect roll game, amazing. I do not like sidestepping. I hate it. Oh, interesting, Jobber. I do not love status effects, so that is interesting to know. Just reading what you guys are writing about Liza P. I mean, games that literally have souls in the title. Googly Moogly's coming in hot. That is a hot take. I mean, it's different than the Souls games, though, right? Like, because again, it's sides. I think like the Souls games, it's just to me, it's a little apples and oranges, right? Because it's deflect plus sidestep, and that's just not fundamentally like what the Souls games are. Um, but certainly, you can like any game better than any other game if you want to. That's personal preference. Um, but yeah, I think it feels different. It's almost more Bloodborne-y. It's like a Bloodborne. I think it's Bloodborne Sekiro hybrid because you have rally as well. So you have the deflection and sidestep from Sekiro. You have the sidestep from Bloodborne, and you have the deflection from Bloodborne. So they have a sort of Venn diagram of the two games. Um, yeah. And really, the Dark Souls series is not particularly represented in there. I have not played AC6. Should I? Is it good? Is it good and is it Souls like? Is AC6 a Souls like game? It's peak? Oh my god, wow, okay. It has Souls like elements. Is as much of Souls like Sekiro, like as Sekiro TBH. Epic boss battles. Yes, you should play AC6. Wow, I did not expect everybody to want me to play AC6 so much. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I don't mind it. I've played some mecha games, you know, so okay. All right. Cool. Wow. Okay. I didn't expect you guys to all have played it so much and really love it. So I think I'm gonna have to get on that. I am Austin said I almost didn't play because I've never been a mech fan. I'm glad I did it though. Oh wow, it's goated. I didn't think I'd like it, and I fell in love with AC6. Wow. Damn. Okay. All right. All right. I probably wouldn't try to no hit it. I'm not. There are some games that I don't even plan on trying. Like I'm not going to do Bloodborne. Um, AC6 movement is honestly incredible. So fast paced. Melee attacks mixing with rockets, etc. Really cool. Okay. Cool. 6 S tier bosses. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Cool. I love your enthusiasm. Unbeatable Sheep did not like Radahn. That's fair. A lot of people don't, and there's a lot that is hard and frustrating about him and unlikable. But there are some good parts as well, in my personal opinion, which is what my video today was about. I'd rather be playing AC6. That's so funny. You guys are making me laugh. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to bounce out. I am going out tonight. So it was really awesome talking with all of you guys, shooting the shit about Radahn. And I learned that apparently I have to play AC6. So I will add that to the Steam roster. But yeah, I hope you guys all have a really great weekend. And I'm sure see you in the comment sections and other places and on my community posts. So yeah, thank you as always so much for your support. It's my favorite thing in the day now that I get to see all of you guys and your comments and stuff like that. It's awesome. So I really appreciate you all. All right. Peace, guys.